Shalom, shalom. And first and foremost, I want to say, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do rule and teach well, and honors to the brothers across the four corners pushing this truth with all sincerity. Tazapanya checking in with another video. We're just going to do another one. We're going to go into the motb. I have an article here. This one's from Science Daily, right, which is like a science news site, right? It's not really too heavy on it's not heavy on terms or nothing, so we'll just read it straight through. But it was uploaded March 24th, 2026 from Cornell University, so upstate. So here it is, the title: This tiny implant, small in a grain of salt, can read your brain. So we'll read the summary. A new neural implant is so small it can rest in a grain of salt, and it can track and wirelessly transmit brain activity for over a year. It's powered by laser light that safely passes through tissue and communicates using tiny infrared signals. This ultra-miniature device could transform how scientists study the brain without invasive wiring. Right? So this is literally, the motb right here, man. This is the chip, right? And as we read on, they pretty much use it as for medical research. So researchers at Cornell University with collaborators have created extremely small neural implant that can sit in the grain of let's see here. So what is the MOTE device, right? This device is known as a microscale optoelectric tetanus electrode. So it has something to do with optoelectric electronics, I guess. I don't know why they call it optoelectric. So opto goes into your eyes, but I don't think it said that they use it for they don't use it for your eyes, but whatever. Its development was led by Alyosha Molnar, professor in the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering at Cornell, along with Sun Woo Lee, assistant professor at Nanyang Technical University. Lee began working on the technology as a postdoctoral researcher in Molnar's lab. All right, so Nanyang, I gotta look at where that's at. Maybe that's in Sunwoo. Sounds more like Korea, but we already know that China has their own. They've been developing their own as well. The MOTE, right? Which is funny they call it the MOTE and we call it the MOTB as the like the acronyms. You know what I mean? But this is, they're calling it the microscale optoelectronic tetanus electrode, but in reality it's really the mark of the beast. MOTB. The MOTE operates using red and infrared laser beams. We don't need to go through all that. That goes into like a lot of the science jargon. You don't really get into all that. But it just uses infrared. Right. So future applications. This is the stuff we really want to get into. Because this all goes into what brothers, elders, and apostles been talking about for the longest, man. And how they're gonna push this thing and make it seem like, oh, this thing is great. It's gonna have all these medical applications, and then soon it's gonna go move down to the commercial sector, and these people are gonna line up to go take it because I don't have to wait on these long ass lines now. I don't have to have my wallet with my money with me. I can just scan my hand and I can go anywhere. I can pay with MTA. I can do I can get groceries and I have to wait no damn lines, right? So according to Molnar, the materials used in the MOTE can allow researchers to record brain activity during MRI scans, something that's largely not possible with current implants. The technology may also be adapted for other parts of the body, including the spinal cord, and eventually be combined with future innovations such as optoelectronics embedded in artificial skull plates. All right, so it has medical use, right, for right now, right, and that's what they're looking into for MRI scans and things like that, right. Eventually used for things such as the spinal cord, which there's been other motbs and other types or whatever that they've been talking about that they use it for the spine as well to help people who like have a messed up spine or whatever, like paralyzed or whatever. All right, so let's get the Revelation 13 and 16 and just kind of go into it. So I did a little Googling on optoelectronics. So it actually has nothing to do with the eyes. That was actually yeah, I was just wrong on that part. So what optoelectronics has to do is the study of electronic devices that emit radiation, pretty much, or like emit infrared lights and rays and all that stuff. Essentially, I just scanned it real quick. So yeah, optoelectronics is the motb. It's also called the brain-computer interface, and so on and so forth. It's the same shit. You're forbidden from taking that anywhere in your body, by the way. So let's get into it. Revelation 13 and 16. And he calleth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in your right hand or in your forehead. All right, so the word causeth, persuade, cause to do, cause to act. Both small and great, free and bond, the rich man and the poor man, the free man and the man that's in jail. All right, to receive, and the same with small and great. You know, the small, the people, the ordinary pedestrian, the ordinary person walking around, the great celebrities, so on and so forth, the rich, right, billionaires, millionaires, these different figures in society, the poor, your average person and whatever, right? Receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So the word for mark goes into charagma. That's here, graven, mark. If you go back, it goes into karax, which goes into a pale, a rampart, a stake, which goes into what we just saw, right? It's small as a grain of rice, right? And will be used as a non-invasive implant, right? We should say non-invasive. It is still invasive because they still have to like put it in you. You know what I mean? That's supposed to be like on your body. You know what I mean? So it is invasive, right? You're just saying that you don't have to have a bunch of wires and shit, but they still have to put that thing in you, man. Right? It's not no something that's um like a patch or something, man. It's not like that. Like those fake tattoo patches, right? Like they were pushing out. You know what I mean? Where you just put water on it and have a tattoo. You know what I mean? To hell with that, by the way, man. That's supposed to have no tattoo. Or want to act like you want to have a tattoo. I mean, kids should be taught not to want to have tattoos anyway. But children, you know what I mean? They should be taught not to want to have tattoos. But you know what I mean? We're in a society, man. These curses or whatever. So you know what I mean? Our people be getting tattoos. You know what I mean? Maybe before you came to truth, you got a tattoo, and now you still got it. I mean, it is what it is. But now that you know not to get no more. You know what I mean? I never had tattoos, but to this day, coworkers will be like, "Yo, why don't you get tattoos?" You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? These people out here in this world, man. They always just be willing. They just very how do you say uh generous with their advice, and then they be fucking wrong. All right, so yeah, Chirax. Let's go back. And then it goes back to Graphol, right, which goes into data essentially, writing, drop, and writing, compose. All right, so Charagma, right, then goes Crocs, the stake, and it goes back to Graphol, which is all the data, right. And I'm in my biocell safety that the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, so save. So then I'm in my buyer cell, right. So that's going to the money. Right? So this MOTB, which they call it MOTE, it's kind of funny, right? But the MOTB, right, is gonna be connected to to digital money, right, to new American digital currency, right? And the only way you're gonna be able to buy and make purchases is if you have it, right? And people are gonna flock to it because like, oh, before, they got pushed out commercially, and like people are gonna flock to it because like, yo, wow, like hey, I don't have to stand these long lines, but eventually it's gonna be like Mando, right? Because you're gonna have secret trouble in full swing, you're gonna have famine, and so on and so forth, right? Um, it instituted kind of orchestrated famine, right? So on and so forth, right? The price of everything is gonna go crazy sky high, and these people are gonna be like, man, the only way I could work, the only way I'm gonna get this money, get this food, is if I have this MOTB. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take it, right? And that's gonna be the way these people are gonna think, right? The name of the beast, the name of his name, yeah, was just going into that vibration, right? Because people that are gonna take this thing are gonna worship the beast. They're gonna want to be a part of the society, and you know what I mean. That's pretty much like a digital all, like our elders and apostles on down, been getting into for the longest time, man. Right? It's a sign that they love the society, and shit, they choose this society over the Most High, man. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what they're saying. Right? So that's why, you know what I mean. Here in America, you have that thing. This place is gonna be a grave. You're not receiving salvation if you take that thing. All right. So let that be that. When that's the show.